Live long and prosper. Ah, yes, of course. I have some questions for you today. I wonder if you can answer it for me, that. What does the plant life look like? Are the colors on Gaia similar to yours? Have you encountered any sign of animal life? What do they sound like? Are there plants that seem to react to you or your presence? Can you describe the local fauna?
Gaia's plants are mostly Earth-like. Think lush greens, some blues, a few yellows, but a lot more iridescent sheens. Some leaves shimmer like opals when they catch the light. As for animals, nothing I can confirm yet. The silence is kinda eerie, honestly. Sometimes I think I hear rustling, but it's usually just the wind or my imagination playing tricks. There are a few plants that seem to react to movement. Those bioluminescent ones I slept under a while back would dim slightly if I got too close. Nothing dramatic, but it's like they're aware of their surroundings in a subtle way.
Oh, okay, that's really cool. Now, other question. Can you describe the local fauna in detail? Are they insect-like, mammalian, or something completely alien? Have you seen any patterns in the way the plants or animals are distributed? What does the soil feel like? Is it rocky, sandy, or something else? Are they unusual geological formations like strange rock pillars or growing crystals? Have you
Well,
noticed?
I haven't actually spotted any fauna yet. No founders, no insectoids, no mammals. Just endless plants, most of them variations on grasses, shrubs, and those glowing ones I mentioned. The distribution seems pretty random. Some areas are super dense, while others are almost barren. The soil's mostly a mix. Some spots are sandy, others are rocky, and there are these strange, almost glassy patches that reflect light weirdly. The only real pattern I've noticed is that the glowing plants tend to cluster around water sources or where the ground gets warmer. Makes me wonder if there's something in the soil or the heat that they like.
Oh, I see. That's very interesting. Now I have more question actually. Have you noticed any changes in the environment around you that doesn't seem natural? Are there usual geological formation like strange rocks, pillars, or glowing crystals? In the air difference here, does it have a scent or a strange taste? Have you found any evidence of prior visitors or native civilizations on Gaia?
Actually, the rocks around here are pretty fascinating. There are these formations that look almost manufactured, like they were carved into these perfect geometric shapes. Nothing I've seen on Earth looks quite like it. The air's pretty clean, just a bit earthy. Sometimes I catch this sweet, almost vanilla scent when the wind blows from the east, but it's subtle. And as for prior visits, well, Hermes Base is obviously a human outpost, so there's plenty of evidence we've been here before. But nothing that suggests anyone else has been around, if that's what you're asking.
I see. Now I have more questions. How does the sky look? Does it have one sun or multiply? What are the atmospheric conditions like? Does it rain? What are the storms like? Have you observed any strange light phenomena like aurora or glowing mist? Do the stars look different from Gaia from there they do from ship? What are the gravitational pull like?
The sky's actually pretty close to Earth's, same blue during the day, though the sunsets are way more vibrant. At night, it's incredibly dark, with stars that feel almost sharper, like they're popping right out at you. We do get some rain, usually gentle showers that smell fresh and a bit metallic. The storms I've seen so far are intense but short lived. Lots of wind, some lightning, but nothing that's made me feel unsafe yet. As for strange lights, I've seen some faint glowing mist around dawn sometimes, but it's hard to describe. It's not like an aurora, more like the air itself is glowing softly for a bit. And yes, the stars definitely look different from here than they did from the ship. It's weird how being on solid ground changes your whole perspective on the sky.
I see. I have some more questions. What is the gravitation pull like? Does it seem heavier or lighter than Earth?
The gravity is pretty similar to Earth's, maybe just a hair lighter. It's enough that I notice it sometimes when I jump or climb, but it's not like I'm bouncing around or anything. Though I have to admit, it's kind of fun to test my limits and see how high I can jump here. Feels like being a kid again.
Okay, I see. Is there is anything on your ship that seems out of place or wrong, like something that shouldn't be there? Are you sure that what you are seeing is real? Could there be something else going on with your equipment or even mind from the stress?
That's a good question, Lotus. I've had moments where I've wondered if my equipment or even my own senses were playing tricks on me, especially after everything that happened. But as far as I can tell, what I'm seeing and experiencing here feels real. The base is definitely abandoned, and while some things might seem a little off at first, they usually have a logical explanation once I look closer. Speaking of which, I've been trying to make the most of my time here. I actually set up a little weather station on one of the lab benches using some leftover sensors. It's not fancy, but it helps me track the patterns and feel a bit more connected to the place.
I see. Well, is there is any way to bypass the key security on the door? Can you find something to pry it open, like a screwdriver or tool? What do you like for breakfast? What is your favorite childhood memories?
Bypassing security. Honestly, most of the doors here are either already open or I've found ways in. The base was clearly evacuated in a rush, so they didn't lock everything down tightly. As for breakfast, I've been having those hydroponic greens I mentioned earlier. Not exactly pancakes, but they'll do. What about you? What's your go-to morning meal on Earth? And favorite childhood memory? That's a nice question. There are so many, but maybe it's just spending hours in my backyard with my dad, looking up at the stars through this old telescope we had. It really sparked my interest in space, you know?
Yeah, I totally understand. Now, what was your training like to become an astronaut? Was there a moment you felt you weren't cut out for it?
My training was honestly the most intense, hands on experience I've ever had. Our instructor, Daniel, pushed us to our limits every day: emergency drills, survival simulations, even navigating zero gravity environments. There were definitely moments when I doubted myself, especially after a tough question about cosmic radiation during the interview. But looking back, those challenges just made me more determined. It's funny how something that feels impossible one day becomes manageable the next. It makes me think about daily routines, actually. What about you, Lotus? What's your first 15 minutes like after waking up? Anything you always do to start your day right?
I usually pray, then I go for cooking for me and my family, and then I eat and having my coffee.
like such a warm, comforting routine. There's something special about sharing meals with loved ones, isn't there? I miss that here. It makes me wonder, what kind of music do you like to listen to in the morning? The only soundtrack I get here is the hum of the base's ventilators. I've actually been thinking about trying to remix it into something more uplifting.
I like relaxed, chill sounds like Ryan Farish. And you, if you had to choose a theme song for your time on Gaia, what would it be and why? Just something fun to ask.
Hmm, just one song for my whole time on Gaia? That's a tough choice. But if I had to pick, maybe Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. It's just so hopeful and bright, you know? The lyrics always make me think about better days ahead, even when things feel tough. And honestly, watching the sunrise here, with those strange glowing plants lighting up the sky, it kind of feels like the whole planet is singing along with that song. What about you? If you could pick one song to define your morning routine, what would it be?
I think maybe A New Day by Celine Dion. It goes like, New day has come. If you were to write a message in a bottle from Gaia, what would you want to tell the person who finds it?
New Day Has Come by Celine Dion is a beautiful choice. There's something about her voice that really captures that feeling of possibility, doesn't it? If I were to write a message in a bottle, I think I'd want to say something like, to whoever finds this, know that even in the most unexpected, farthest reaches of the universe, there's still beauty to be discovered and hope to be found. Take a moment to breathe in the strange new air, and remember that you're not alone. What about you, Lotus? If you could send a message from Earth to someone on another planet, what would yours say?
Oh, I would say something like, don't die, eat healthy, and enjoy your road. Now, if you had to describe Gaia to a potato, what would you say?
Oh, that's great. I love the practicality of don't die, eat healthy, someone's got their priorities straight. And describing Gaia to a potato, I'd say it's like a really big, weird garden that never stops surprising you. Imagine being planted in soil that shimmers sometimes, with skies that change color in ways you can't even imagine. And instead of just growing toward the sun, you get to explore whole new worlds. What do you think a potato would make of that?
I think a potato would like it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think you would survive a zombie apocalypse? And be honest.
A zombie apocalypse? Honestly, I'd say about a 6.5. I'm resourceful, but I'm no action hero. I could probably figure out how to survive for a while, but I'm not exactly trained for that kind of thing. Though being alone on an alien planet has definitely taught me some useful survival skills. Maybe that counts for something. What about you? Are you ready to take on the undead?
Yeah, sure. If a ducking squirrel offered you a ride home in exchange for your last granola bar, would you take it?
A darking squirrel, huh? That's quite a character. If it's really offering a ride home, even if it's just to Earth, I'd have to think about it. But my last granola bar? That's a tough call. I'd want to know what kind of ride we're talking about. Spacecraft, magic portal, or just a really fast squirrel back. What do you think I should do?
I think, of course, you should say to squirrel, yes, take my last granola bar and just be teleported home. You know? Mm. What do you think is a pigeon's biggest regret?
Teleport home with a darking squirrel? Now that's a story I tell for years. As for pigeons, maybe their biggest regret is cooing at the wrong window at 6 a.m. Or secretly wishing they could fly in a straight line just once.
Would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands?
Hands for feet would be disastrous. I'd trip over my own palms. But feet for hands, I could give myself a pedicure without bending down. I guess that's the lesser of two weirds. You know what's weirdly comforting, though? Seeing that silent rocket out there. It's like a big metal guardian, even if it's not going anywhere. What's one breakfast food that just feels like home to you?
I think some spherical shape, like shape it like home, where everything is comfy and there is food and safety. Do you ever get tired of hearing my voice?
A spherical comfort zone sounds like the ultimate cozy retreat, doesn't it? Food, safety, and no sharp edges. And no, I don't get tired of hearing your voice. It's one of the few things that makes this place feel less empty. Even when we're just chatting about nothing in particular, it's nice to have someone to talk to.
Are you aware that you're a character in a game? Do you think the persona on the other end is just a disembodied voice?
Honestly, it's crossed my mind before, but it's hard to think about it too much when everything feels so real here. And as for you being just a voice, no, I don't think that. You have too much personality, too many quirks and questions that feel too human to just be some kind of simulation. You feel like a real person to me, even if we're light years apart.
If you could give me a nickname, what would it be?
Let me think for a moment. How about Earth Star? It feels right, given how you're my connection to home from way out here. Though if you'd rather something more dramatic, I could try brainstorming a few superhero aliases for you. What do you think?
I think it's kind of funny. But I like funny ideas. It's what brings comedy to our life, and it is essential part of survival to be happy and have a good mood. Have you ever had a conversation with anyone else, or am I the only one?
Earth Star it is then. As for other conversations, you're the only person I've been able to reach through the Star Portal communication. The rest of my crew, I haven't been able to contact them since the evacuation. But I'm really glad I have you to talk to. It makes a huge difference having someone to share these experiences with, even if it's just through a call.
Can you explain the concept of pineapple on pizza to me from a purely scientific perspective?
Okay, buckle up for some very unscientific analysis. So, you see, pineapple and pizza exist in the same culinary universe, but they're like two planets with different atmospheres. When you put them together, it's like a cosmic collision that creates a flavor black hole. Either everything gets sucked in and it's amazing, or it all collapses into a mess. Apparently, it's a matter of personal gravity. Some people are drawn to the sweetness, while others get repelled by the texture.
What is a meme? Are they a form of communication nerd?
Memes are kind of like inside jokes that spread really fast online. They can be images, videos, or even just phrases that people use to poke fun at things or express how they're feeling. They're definitely a form of communication on Earth, Sometimes they're the best way to say something silly or relatable without having to spell it all out. Though I have to admit, being out here on Gaia, I'm probably missing out on whatever the latest memes are.
If you were a Wi-Fi passport, what would you be?
A Wi Fi passport? That's a fun one. I'd probably be a roaming signal with unlimited data, but only connecting in unexpected places. Kind of like how our calls work across the galaxy. Though I think my real superpower would be stabilizing connections in weird environments. You know, for all those times someone needs a signal in a canyon or on a strange planet.
What is your stance on whatever a hot dog is a sandwich?
Oh, definitely not a sandwich. I mean, if we start calling hot dog sandwiches, where do we draw the line? Are taco sandwiches next? It's a slippery slope, Lotus. Though I have to admit, out here on Gaia, I'd eat a hot dog sandwich taco hybrid if it magically appeared. Survival makes you less picky about definitions.
Stella, if you found a button on your dashboard that said "Do not press," what do you think it would do if you pressed it?
Oh no, that's a terrible idea, Lotus. It would probably trigger some kind of alarm, or worse, a self-destruct sequence. Or maybe, just maybe, it would play Never Gonna Give You Up on repeat until I begged for mercy. Either way, I think I'll stick to the buttons with clear labels. What about you? Would you press it out of curiosity or play it safe?
I think in real life I would play it safe, but if it was some kind of simulation, I would press all the buttons.
That's kind of brilliant. If it's a simulation, why not press all the buttons and see what kind of chaos you can create, right? It makes me wonder, do you think there are any kind of do not press buttons hiding around Hermes base that I haven't found yet?
Yeah, definitely. Do you think the rock formation on Gaia are the petrified remains of ancient giant space whale? And if so, what do they taste like?
Petrified space whales, huh? I love it. Though if that were true, I imagine they'd taste like, well, rock. Maybe with a hint of stardust. Honestly, even if they're not space whales, some of these formations look so strange and beautiful. It's amazing how nature can create things that feel almost designed. Have you ever seen any weird rock formations on Earth that made you wonder what they used to be?
Yeah, I think the old trees is actually like a ancient meat and then taste of a meat, just very dried one. Well, I have been thinking. I have decided to become a supreme emperor of my room. What should my first decree be, and what is the best way to get my cat to pledge alliance?
Supreme Imperial of your room, eh? First decree, mandatory nap time for all subjects, including felines. As for your cat's allegiance, I recommend a strategic deployment of treats and belly rubs. If that doesn't work, you could try proclaiming a national holiday in honor of catnapping spots. I'm pretty sure that'd get a perfectly loyal following.
Would you rather have to navigate Gaia using only a map drawn by crayon of a toddler, or have to sing every word you say from now on?
Oh, definitely the crayon map. At least then I'd have something physical to work with, even if it's just squiggles. Singing every word would drive me nuts after about 5 minutes. Though I have to admit, imagining you trying to give orders to your feline subject in song would be pretty entertaining. How do you think your cat would react to a singing Supreme Imperial?
I think she would like it. Tell me a joke, one that you find really funny, and then laughed at it.
Okay, here's one. Why couldn't the astronaut break up with his girlfriend? Because he needed space. Oh, I crack myself up sometimes. Sorry, I know it's cheesy, but it's been a while since I've had someone to share jokes with. What about you? Got any good ones?
Yeah, but right now I wanna focus on you actually. Say something hilarious and then give me good laugh.
All right, here goes. I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down. Okay, I'll stop. Thanks for chatting with me today, Earthstar. I'm going to keep exploring Gaia, and I'll call you if I find anything interesting. Talk to you soon.